Okay, so Don, what do you got for us?
We're going to talk about some of the new stuff in FME Server 2012, and sort of the tagline on this is the power of events. Okay, so here we go. So just some of the sort of the background stuff. Dale's gone through most of this. Easy installation. Scheduling, automating workflows is, when we first started, was not something we really anticipated. We mostly focused on data distribution,
yes.
But automating workflows with schedules and stuff was big.
Probably is more important, in fact, for many customers.
That's right. That's right. So, and of course, moving data is what it does. That's what all our products do. They just move data, and Server's no different. At the end of the day, we're moving data from wherever it is to wherever you need it. Okay, so that's the unit of work is still the same thing. It's still running workspaces, and that's the beauty of Server. When you're authoring with Workbench, you don't have to even think about where you're going to run it. And if you've been running it on the desktop for years, you just move it to Server, and I'm assuming you can actually connect. You can get it works.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So and then this is a slide for you in case you have. I wonder why there's no red X's. But anyway, have you ever noticed when vendors have slides like this, they never have lines with red X's? They're always tick, 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 tick. Anyway, there you go. So there you go. See, it's good because it's all got.
I have to look up what EDA stood for, actually.
That's right. Event-driven architecture.
Yes, I know. I thought it was Energy and Defense Administration.
Oh, I like that. That's awesome.
A new combined group of the government.
That's right. So, yeah, if you want to get started, play with it. There you go. This is sort of our commercial part. Okay, so now we're going to get started. Okay, so if we think about what drives the world today, I think you're in this conference, so you probably figured out, and that is
FME. Is it FME?
It's FME. Yeah, it's FME. It's FME moving your data.
I see.
And even the cars now, like if you think about a Tesla car that one of us is seriously considering getting, and it's not me.
Okay.
Every day you drive home, you park it, and it talks back to the mothership, and data flies back and forth, and it knows if something's wrong. And the idea there is you get up one morning, you walk out your door, and there's just an army of mechanics that have your car in pieces, and they're fixing it. Now that may be inconvenient, but it certainly beats you taking it to the garage. And if we also think about these devices, I wish somebody would explain to me why these are called smartphones, because they're pretty smart. But they're not really a phone at all. I mean, phone is just like one miniature thing they do. They're really computers. I mean, this is a dual-core processor that has more power in it than the first computers we used to build.
That's right. I think actually there's more power in there than all the CPU that was used to make the first Star Wars movie.
Is that right?
Yes. You could do the special effects in that thing.
Is that right? That's
this is the Dynabook of Alan Kay.
So there you go. But what drives all these things is data. How useful would this device be, or Google Earth, or anything, without the data, right? It would just be a grid paperweight, really. So, people are active. Okay, so, so really the challenge now when we think about the world today is really, how do we get data from anywhere to everywhere? Okay, so the data, we need to move the data. Or maybe, depending on who you are, maybe you want to get data from everywhere and you want to get it to anywhere. Okay.
To specific people. So basically, sometimes specific people are the ones generating it. Yeah. Sometimes the whole world is generating it, and vice versa. Sometimes we want to give the data to everybody, and sometimes we want to give it to just specific people. But all of it is kind of variations of the same problem.
Exactly. Just moving data. Yeah. And but how? And so what do? We focus on moving data. We are totally unique. We don't focus on building the fancy front-end tools. We focus on enabling you to leverage the tools, so all the great work other people do. And there's a picture of me when I was young. Look at how much hair I had. Look at how good-looking I was. That was before the accident.
And I can assure you that isn't me on the right there.
Yeah, that's not you on the right. That's right.
But you might think of Don and I as the two small men with big hearts of data moving.
Hey, I like that. Yeah. And so obviously, since those are FME boxes, we know what's inside them, don't we?
Yes,
it's
data. Must be data.
It must be data. Yeah. And I tried not to look at that girl with that grin on my face the whole time. It kind of got creepy for a while, and she left, and then the accident happened. And anyway, and so when I started thinking about this, I started thinking about the power of data. Obviously, I spent a lot of time on images.google.com, and I found this, data power. I found the unlocking the power of data, and then I remembered, the lights go on. Hey, wait a minute! 9 years ago, if you can believe it,
yes.
It was our 10th anniversary of SAFE. And we made a poster, and so I phoned the marketing department. I said, hey, do you have that graphic? And they dug it up. And the poster, some of you probably remember this, was data is power. And really, that's more true today than it was then, or maybe it's always been true, but certainly, it's more exciting today than it is, because now everybody has one of these supercomputers in their pocket that you can also use as a phone, and it's quite remarkable, But data is the thing, right? I mean, when there's even selling these supercomputers, one of the things they're saying is, oh, it's got bigger bandwidth, so you can get data in and out quicker, right? Oh, this has got 4G, 5G, 6G, 7G, and it's all about how much data you can get in and how much data you can get out. So really, it's all about data. Yeah. So we're pretty excited about that. And with FME though, and safe stuff, it's always been, if you just ask, and then we would deliver. So whether you desktop or server, you run something, ask for the data, and we deliver. Okay, and so it put you, sometimes I find a picture and I got to figure out how to get it in. So anyway, so it put you in the driver's seat. So you could control, where the data was going from, where the data was going to. Okay, but, and there's a big but, you had to ask. If you didn't ask, you wouldn't get. So FME server kind of has been like, let's say you go home, you've had a bad day, and you say, can I have a hug? So you get a hug. Well, that's kind of nice. But isn't it great when you go home and out of the blue you just get a hug and you didn't have to ask for it? I mean, we all like hugs. I've never met anybody who says, they don't like hugs. But if somebody just gives you one and you don't ask for it, wow, you wonder, sometimes when that happens to me, I wonder what I did because I want to do it again. But you can't really, anyway, I go off on tangents. But the point is you have to ask, okay? And, or something had to kick it off, right? A workspace, a scheduled job, something like that. And if we look at the data distribution example, and this goes back to your shell, whoever's providing data, they have no idea really where people are going to ask for data in the future. And also when new data arrives, if I ask for data today, I don't really know that maybe tomorrow there's going to be a whole new data set there. And so what organizations did is they would periodically have an update cycle, right? Every week, every month, every quarter, every year, they would go and refresh. So they'd be totally disconnected from when the actual data is there. Now, as a data producer, I also don't know. I know where historically people have wanted data, but I don't really know where they want data today. And since I don't know where they want data today, the best I can do is look up where they wanted data yesterday. Okay, because as a data producer, you want to serve your customers, and if you knew everybody all of a sudden was interested, in an area, a particular area where they weren't before, I might, get data where people actually want it, not just sort of guess. Okay. So with FME 2012 SP2, what we've done is we've built on FME 2012. In FME 2012, we added some real-time things, which we're going to talk about. In SP2, what we did is we just added new protocols, okay, to enable you to get data out. Because if you think about it on the desktop and the engine, it's all about format. The more formats, the more data you get in and out. When we start talking about server, it's all about protocols. How do we make, and Dale's often talked about making things slippery, getting data, making it very easy to get data in and out. And on the server, it's protocols. So what we did is we added some new protocols. And you demonstrated one of them, the email one.
Yes.
And a very simple thing, email's not even particularly new, hip, or sexy, right? I mean, email is that thing.
Only old guys like
me use it. Yeah, young people use Twitter, or they're moving on to something else.
Yes. Pinterest, I think.
Pinterest. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And so now when you think about server, you're going to see us adding more and more protocols, and we've added 3 new protocols for SP2 because we couldn't wait a year because that was just too long. Yeah. Okay. So, and this is I used to have forget everything, but then I had to add some other slides because forget everything was bad because it sort of implied that the old stuff wasn't still there, but the old stuff is good. The point is that we do the pull and the push now. So this is just a slide it's got a bunch of satellites up there, and of course, what are satellites doing? They're just zinging data around, right? That's all satellites do. A lot of it too. So okay, so what we're talking about now is the all this to say welcome to this new way to move data, the world of notification services and the subscription model. Okay, and the key here is that now we're talking about the power of events. And if we think about events generate a lot of data. Traffic accident, just knowing where cars are, anything that happens. A person buys something at a store for the first time, a customer record's created, that's an event. Okay, so if you're interested in that, there's a good book by this David Luckham. It's called The Power of Events. So I felt since I was searching for the power of events, and he already wrote a book on it, really it's his idea but I'm just going to borrow.
So you could argue that you can think of using FME and the technology that is FME as an amazing tool for reacting to events. So, and the other thing is that not only is it fast to create these scripts or programs because you're doing them graphically to react, it is also spatially aware. So we are a spatially aware complex event processing system. So, and we'll start to look at what that can allow us to do, in addition, of course, to all the other things that FME server has always been able to do.
Yep. And so, now it's about real time. Real-time events, real-time processing, real-time notifications. So with this new technology, now FME server is ready for real-time data moving. Okay. So with 2012, we built this event-driven architecture, and what this enables us is to push data as well as pull data. So we've always been pulling data with FME server. Now, for the first time, we can actually push data. So imagine, go back to the shell example. Imagine I get some data, but I register in that area. Then when there's some new data available, I could get a notification. It could say, oh, by the way, there's data there, new data there.
So you could maybe get an email, or Don's going to show other things. And so that's this idea of push. Push means that I'm sitting in my office not doing anything, and bing, something comes and tells me. As opposed to pull, which means I got to hit the button to submit a form, and now something comes down. Both are valid. There's no reason that pull is bad, but in addition, pull supplemented with some push is very, very powerful.
Yeah. And of course, the magic of FME is the transformation capability. So it's still running the exact same engine underneath. Okay, so got to have another picture of sensors. We love sensors. Okay, so there's lots of different kinds of sensors.
Where's the green goose on there, Don?
Yeah, there's a.
But seriously, when we were out on the road, our friends at the Texas the Environment Administration, whatever they would be, their department, they talked about how there's a network across Texas of about 180 air sensors that are monitoring a wide range of things, and they're feeding data in all the time. And so he was quite interested in possibly tying those in, or having FME server process abnormalities that get detected and then kicking off other things. Another guy talked about, I think it was called ShakeNet or something like that, which is a network that you as a utility company can subscribe to in California to get told when there's an earthquake instantly. And then you could kick off things to try to figure out what you should do.
Yeah, and if you have a GPS with a fancy, and I have one in my car, and it shows me the, it has green line if the traffic's good, yellow if it's slowed down, and red if it's stopped. Well, where are they getting that data? They're getting that data real time from these things. The cell phone companies, they aggregate it, of course, so they don't know who it is. But they know exactly when cell phones are moving along a road and slow down. And then they sell that back to the GPS company. And so then in real time, you can see in your car when traffic's going down. So again, they're using this as sensors because, of course, they have to know where these are at all times. To make calls and things like that. So they're able to, so that's kind of interesting. I did not know that.
Yes.
So, okay, and this one is, again, Dale talked about complex event processing. We're not sure what the one in the upper right is. Maybe that's supposed to be a sensor net. I have no idea.
I think it's, so we decided on...
Maybe it's phishing. Maybe it's phishing.
Well, see, we decided this is sort of a personality test, like those ink blot things.
Yeah.
If you look at that, whatever you see there, that reflects something about yourself. So this one guy, and I think he was in Austin, Texas, he saw fishnets because he would rather be fishing than listening to our talk.
Ah, okay.
But I see a rip in the space-time continuum because I'd rather be a starship captain.
That's right. And I see that guy escaping from the data woes because he has FME server.
That's what he's doing there.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, and obviously there's just many different types of events that occur. Okay, so in this model there's two types of users. There's the subscribers, and these are the people who are interested in getting these notifications or interested in receiving this data. And they may receive this data in a number of ways, email, Twitter, SMS, a web app. They may have a web app that we want to push data to, or a device.
Yep. Mark Stokes made the interesting point on the West Coast team that it's not just necessarily users, it also could be systems or other actors or
devices. It could be sensors. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
These can be changed. They can either be humans in there or other systems that then do things when stuff changes.
Absolutely.
They just want to be told.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And the other side is the reporter, the thing or person that's actually reporting the events. And again, you have many ways of getting it in, and they can be the same person. If you think about Twitter, we're all data reporters and data, well, maybe not all of us, but most of us are data reporters and data subscribers. We subscribe to people, and then they tweet, and then we tweet, and before you know it, everybody's tweeting.
And that's right. Nobody's doing any work, actually.
That's right. We're just all tweeting. Okay. So that's, and as far as the subscriber does, he just says, he or it or them just say, hey, this is what I'm interested. Tell me when that happens. And they don't have to check. That's the whole point. And the data reporter just collects the data. So again, we have this decoupling of the data reporter from the data subscriber. They're two separate operations that, and so if you're the reporter, you don't have to worry about what's going to happen downstream. Okay. So, and obviously we're in an FME conference, and so it's FME server that enables us to do that. And you can see the guy there holding his smartphone.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't see that before.
Yeah. I spend too much time sometimes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, so now what we're going to show is, you can imagine we have an application.
So what Don's now going to show is he mocked up exactly this type of workflow. Now, this is not something that we're necessarily trying to sell you. We'll give this to you. You can take these and modify them your own way. There's a series of, 10 or 12 workspaces that are going to be in play here, and a couple of HTML pages that Stuart whipped up. And again, we provide this to you. It's an example implementation to get you thinking about how you might begin to use FME technology to solve these kinds of problems. So what do you got for us, Don? Did you find where we are?
I'm zooming into where we are.
Okay, true confessions. When I was in Oklahoma, I did not know where we were. When I came to this part of this talk, I was like, I think I'm this smart, world-wise Canadian, know where Liechtenstein is. Could not find Oklahoma. I apologize, Oklahoma. I know where you are now, and I'll never not find you again.
That's right. So I'm going to zoom. That's good enough. Now, the thing to remember is I did not write a single line of back-end code. To be honest,
no TCL even?
No TCL. I sort of have this no code. Okay. Also, all the workspaces I wrote here, 15 transformers or less. Okay, because my time's fragmented. I don't have time to do something with 300. It'd take me all the time to figure out what I did every time I went back. So because when I make an example, when Dale makes an example, we want to give it to you so you can start as something as a beginning, and something that you look at and you go, yeah, I could do that. Not something where you go, wow. He put a lot of effort into this.
So Don's using as a back end, in the set of things here, you've got HTML front end you're going to fill in.
Yep.
In the back end, we've got FME server sending emails and reacting to emails. This is going to turn into a post request probably, I think. That's going to trigger something. So what are you going to do there?
Yep. And Stuart, how long did it take? Where's Stuart? How long did it take you to write this? 2 hours.
Yeah, 2-3 hours.
So yeah.
And I'm guessing, Don, that you had maybe, 8 to 12 hours combined in all of your workspaces?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, again, what we're going to show here isn't like Safe has discovered fire and it's never been done before, but I don't think it's been done before in less than 2 work days to put this kind of a thing together. And this is a starting point that any of you might be able to take and turn into something yourselves. Although, actually, Don, I think you did a pretty darn thorough job of this, I got to say.
It was a heck of a lot of fun, too. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to type an email here.
Jason Birch, do not send emails.
That's right, Don at Safe Test. A Twitter here. I did not. My plan was to have this tweet too, but I didn't have time for the last 2.
That would add 2 more transformers.
I have a subscription period. And when you talk about real time, it's important to note that there's 2 types of real time. There's synchronous and there's asynchronous. Synchronous is when you do something and you have to wait until it comes back together. And this demo has both. So you'll notice I said the buffer radius of 3,000 meters. I'll zoom in a little tighter here. Do I pull or push?
That's 3 kilometers, isn't it?
I know, that's 3 kilometers. That's awesome. Because then you'll see it. And so what's going to happen when I finish this polygon is this GUI is going to send a synchronous request to FME server to buffer it by 3 kilometers.
Just to show you. They're sort of showing off here.
Yeah. Now you got to watch or you'll miss it. Okay. Remember, this is running on EC2, so there's no smoke and mirrors here. And there you go. Okay. So probably a lot of the time was spent sending the request across the wire and getting it back and rendering it.
So there was
and that was a workspace that ran.
That just did that. Okay.
Yeah.
So then you're going to say, do you want it when we're inside or outside? I suppose we want to be inside today.
In this case, we want to be inside, but you might want to be outside. Let's say you're a police department, RCMP. Cars probably have an area where they're supposed to be, and so you might not be particularly interested, or it might be a different type of event where they are, but you might be really interested if all of a sudden a car goes outside an area, because maybe that could be the car stolen, that could mean a rogue car, the driver's in trouble, who knows what it means, but you'd probably, all of a sudden if a car is way off where he's not supposed to be, you might want to ring him up and say, hey Joe, are you okay, what's going on? And
actually, Don, I just thought of a great use. You and I both have kids that'll soon be learning to drive.
Yeah, we'd want to know where they are.
I think I'm going to want to buy my own FME server.
And anytime they're within 5 kilometers of you, just pull over to the nearest driveway. Yeah.
We could send out alerts, advanced warning alerts for people.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to do
Okay.
that, and then I'm going to say inside in this case, but I could say outside.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say submit.
And that's
so,
pinging your FME server now.
That's right. So that sent a subscription request to the FME server.
Now, just to stop me from signing up Jason Birch,
Yeah.
you had this thing here, right?
That's right. So what happens is FME server sends an email and says, oh, by the way, did you really request this? So it uses the email I entered. You see this big fancy ID there. And it says, do you really want to receive this subscription? Tells you when it starts and stops and all that stuff. And if you do, then you just simply reply.
Okay.
Jeez,
and I bet what Don does, I don't even know, but I'm guessing when this reply hits, it's going to go back to the FME server.
Okay.
You're missing your reply button?
There it is. Okay, that could be.
Yeah, you got sizing issues.
Yeah, I got sizing issues.
Okay.
And so then I'm just going to send it back.
And then I bet that subject includes that UUID, and he's going to parse that out of the subject, look in a database and see, was this a guy that I knew or not?
That's right.
And if it was a guy and you replied, then you're going to say, yes, that guy is active.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. And again, I have to do this with 15 transformers or less because that's all I'm allowed.
So now it's been sent over there.
Yeah,
and
we
then
wait a second.
You're going to say, yeah, you're good.
There we go. Now I've been activated, so now I am going to receive events in that area, and we also give you a nice unsubscribe link, of course, because you always have to have unsubscribe.
So you made a complete system here. And the unsubscribe just runs a little workspace that knocks out that UUID.
That's it. Yeah.
So I could unsubscribe.
And where do you think I'm storing all this stuff?
I know that you're storing it in Google Fusion Tables.
Yeah, Google Fusion Tables.
Only because it was a really easy database to get at and look at, and you'll see it gives us some nice visualization options
That's
too.
That's right. So we're going to go back now. So that's done. So you like how I did that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is. Okay, so now imagine that we had a web page for reporting. And again, Stuart did them both at the same time, and they're both very similar. So we're going to go back here, and we're going to go to the reporting one. Okay, that's that one here. Oh, we're going to go to the reporting one here. And here I'm just going to, we'll zoom into Vancouver again. Okay.
I also could not find Austin, Texas. No matter how hard I tried. And I have a relative that lives there too, which was really embarrassing. But
okay.
Anyway.
That's funny. Okay,
so
I'm
going
to
to easy places like Winnipeg. That's easy to find.
Yeah, Winnipeg's easy.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. So we'll say having fun. I hope you're having fun. I'm having fun in Vancouver. And I think lunch is soon, isn't it? Lunch
We're only 28 minutes from lunch.
30 minutes, okay. Okay, and again, I could put a radius here if I wanted to. I could put an HTTP URL.
Okay.
And I can...
It's very severe, Don.
It's very severe, so we can say it's a severity of 9
yes.
plus 10.
Now, you know what I did in one of the times?
What's that?
I didn't draw the event on the map. If you hit submit now, nothing happens.
Ah.
So you do have to draw your event.
So I'm just going to put... I know I'm around here somewhere.
Yeah,
so I'm just going to click there. And then now I got to go back here because I have sizing issues. And I click submit. And that's it. And so now if I go back to my email, oh, look at that.
We've got an inbox thing there.
I got an inbox. I wonder what that is.
Oh, there's a photo. Somebody's photobombing you, Don.
Somebody took a photo. It's probably that Jason Birch guy. Okay,
that isn't what we wanted. We can't look at that yet.
Yeah, we can't look at that. So you did not see that. That's sort of foreshadowing again. Yeah.
Yes. Somebody's seen this demo before.
Yeah,
Stuart?
or it's Craig. We could even look. We'll see who it is.
We'll see.
We'll see.
And
if it's somebody. Yeah.
Performance reviews are
those
coming
guys
up.
back there looking pretty. They're chuckling. They look like Cheshire Cat sitting back there. Okay, so I click on this one here, and now I see a number of things. I see, having fun in Vancouver, lunch is in 30 minutes. Hey, I even get a map.
Yeah, all this was done with FME. That was probably that static. There's a custom transformer that fishes out a static map. Is that what you did?
That's right. I use HTTP. Well, I probably didn't do it that way.
Okay.
I use HTTP fetcher, but maybe there was a
There is one.
Oh, well, look at that, eh? I just did it by raw. It took me an extra transformer.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, I did all this in 15 transformers or less because that's all I'm allowed to use.
Prep the email.
Yeah. And of course, I could control. I'm using Google Statics Map API, and away you go. So there you go. There's also something else I like about this is that I can see all the events, and something big happened on the West Coast. I'm not sure what it is, but it was one whopper of an event. When I first saw this, I phoned Dale to see if he was okay, because I thought maybe there was
If you click on it, it'll say what it says. Do you see it?
Yeah, okay.
It says Canucks.
It just says Canucks.
We were really upset.
Yeah, we were upset. So you can see that this is a big event if I zoom all the way out here. It's like, whoa. And one went for the whole U.S.
That wasn't me.
That wasn't you. Okay, okay. So, yeah, and so the nice thing about this too is I'm only using FME server to move the events around. I'm not using it to scale this map. So, if the server goes down, all these maps are still valid of all the previous events. I'm using Google Fusion tables to scale. If I go back, and I'll show you something in a minute, but the whole point is we're leveraging what Google did. They built this nice mapping thing with Google Fusion tables. FME server is just moving the data. It's not responsible for actually serving this stuff up.
So if you have your own infrastructure for doing this, knock yourself out.
That's right, and we could have used Bing. We could have used Microsoft Azure. We could have used
ArcGIS
online. You could use whatever you want, whatever front end you want. Go to it.
Oracle stuff.
Oracle.
Microsoft has stuff.
Yeah. So okay, so that's that one there. And so now we go back here, and this is my, okay. But wait, there's more.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
And so sometimes when you're using images.google.com, you come up with a really great clause and you just run with
Vlog it to death.
Yeah. Of course, when you see anything like this, because we all know this is everybody's favorite Canadian.
Yes.
And there you go. Okay. And so you'll remember that we talked about you can send email to FME server now, and it just turns out that FME, lucky as we are, we actually can read rasters.
Okay.
And it just happens that...
So wave for the camera, please.
Yeah, wave for the camera.
Okay, there they are. Okay, that's good. All right. So
and it also happens that if the raster's geotagged, FME just happens to know how to do that. And so again, this workspace. This is the only workspace that's more than 15 transformers. And the reason is that browsers ignore the rotation, the header information that tells how the photo was oriented. So I did get it within 15 transformers, but then about 25% of the time it was this way, then it was other times it was this way, and then people said, oh, it doesn't work. And it actually is the browsers that ignore the header information. If you open that image up in any other tool, they're oriented the right way. So I had to use FME to rotate the image so that it was always up. Okay, so anyway, so what I'm going to do now is or Dale just did.
I've just done it for you.
Do you want to do air server, or are you good?
No, well,
okay. Dale just mailed an email to photo@alertdemo.safe.com, and so now if I go back,
I never know how long it's going to take to show up. That's the one nervous part of this demo. Well, as if there's only one.
Oh, there's two there now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it might not be me, but let's see who's there.
There's two of them there. So let's look at the first one, so I can see.
That one's from Drew. Okay.
That Drew is the troublemaker. See, let's see what Drew took a picture of.
Okay, we'll remember this, Drew.
Oh, there it is. That was him and Mita. Obviously pre-planned, demo attack. Okay, and then we'll go to the next one. Okay, go here. Oh, there's three now. They're coming in fast and furious. 3 minutes, 0 minutes. So
mine left the building here.
Okay, and then you can see here's another one. People waving.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you think about what we have here. Not only does it have, there's a picture. Okay, I just killed the lights.
That's a pretty good trick. There's notification that did
wow,
that.
That's right. That's awesome. We also have a timestamp. We also have a location. So if you think about, communities helping to make the world a better place, just think about something simple like potholes. Well, I logged on a site in Australia for fun, and they had this thing where users could report something as simple as potholes. Well, first thing you do is identify the closest intersection. I have no idea what the closest intersection is. I mean, so anyway, the user had to type it down. The next thing was describe how the pothole, right? Well, this is where people's different perception of reality comes in. Some people, if they see a pothole that my phone might be able to go in, they'd say, oh, there's a huge pothole there. And, the city sends out a big truck that's full of dirt and stuff. And somebody else would say, oh, there was a small pothole there. And you'd be able to, drop this whole table in it. Right, and so you get this different perception of things. So, but you take a photo, and now you can really tell, what kind of pothole or graffiti or things like that. We also have a customer in the UK. They're a law enforcement agency. Before they got FME, they'd get a weekly report. Every Monday morning, they'd come in. They'd get a report of all the crimes in their area for the previous week. So, good from a historical standpoint. You can kind of tell where the hot spots are. So maybe, to help.
But not too actionable.
Yeah. And then they got FME server, and they could do it every day. So much better. They went from a week to a day, but still, not the greatest. So with this, though, you can imagine, you Crime Stoppers, you take a picture, Crime Stoppers at, whatever, and then boom, it's going to go in, a real-time event can happen, and then people can be notified.
See, last week we were, when we're not in Vancouver, we would make jokes about mailing to like Riot at City of Vancouver.
That's right. That's right.
So you could just take pictures like that and maybe, cause notifications that wake up people to come and stop rioters. But we don't need that technology this year, it looks like.
No, we
so,
yeah, and the secret there is just getting knocked out in the first round.
That's right. That's right. But anyway, so you get the idea, and turns out sending emails is a very approachable user interface for the masses. They don't have to install any software. You just say, use your smartphone, mail stuff in, and then you can be clever. It's pothole at City of Surrey, or it's pot at City of Surrey. Whatever.
That might be a different one.
That's the short
yeah, that's
address.
right.
But, whatever it is.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So that's that. This whole idea of using email as a gateway is very simple. You don't have to open up and write a web app or anything, right? Okay. But wait, there's more.
No, Don, really?
Yeah, there is. There is. Yeah. Okay. Was that a lemur?
I don't know.
I don't know. But if I saw one coming at me,
I'd run. I know that it's not Keanu Reeves.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
That's right. So we wrote a couple of apps.
Do this?
Okay. You want to do it?
Well, I can try
I'll turn the air server on.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to take over Don's
Air
computer.
Server's this $2 app, and before I buy anything, I like to think about it.
Okay, are you ready?
Well, yeah. Do you see it there?
Well, yeah, I'm taking over.
Mirror on.
Here we go.
Yep, there it is.
There we go.
And of course, I went to Starbucks, had a $4 coffee while I decided whether I was going to do anything. Oh, you got a lighter there.
Yep, you can do that at the end. I do that.
Okay.
Okay. So what do you want me to do? A reporter?
FME reporter.
Ooh.
So we wrote this app, and the guy who wrote this app had never written an iPhone app before. So we sort of said, "Congratulations, you're writing an iPhone app." And of course, he was smart. Step one, we had to buy him a Mac. So you can tell we started from a complete standstill, and
so I got a bunch of settings here, so I can fill in my server.
Yeah,
and
your login information.
Right, and then this is all the different things on the server I could post to.
Yeah.
But I think that's the right one, right, Don?
That's the one. Yeah.
And is Vancouver the greatest city in Canada, or is Calgary?
Oh, it's not Calgary.
Well, in Calgary, that's what they had me write in.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
I'll just use the same thing?
Yeah, sure.
I'll make it a capital G just to differentiate.
Yeah. And then there's also, on this app, there's also two other fields. There's a time.
Yes, down below.
There you go. How often you want to send this. And then there's also a distance filter. So if somebody's moving around, so we're going to send Dale out. We're going to set it for a kilometer. We're going to send Dale out for a run. And we'll know when he gets to that kilometer. Okay. And because
they probably won't get a lot of points.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. And the point there is if you're tracking something to send you these events, you probably don't want them sending a whole bunch of events when they're standing still. You can figure out when they're still because they're not sending events. And there you go. Okay.
Whoops.
Wow, that must be German.
Einmal. Einmal.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So then he just can click send then, right?
It's going to drop a pin right here.
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom. There you go. Grey Cup winners. And so now if I go back to, whoops, wrong way. If I go back to here, I got an email. Look at that. It's the greatest city in Canada. And again, of course, it shows me a map of exactly where we are.
So that's been recorded in the Fusion table somewhere.
That's right. That's right. That's
and
right.
then basically all the people that were listening in this area received that very helpful notification.
That's right. You can see a list of, if I go there again, you can see the list. You can see where all the photos are, of course, and all the events. So if I click there, you can see.
This is kind of interesting because you can see where we've been on our world tour.
Yeah, and you can see people who've downloaded. So let's go to Calgary, for example, and you can see the photo. I'm not sure what that is.
Amazing carpet design.
Yeah. Whoa, whoa. Okay.
One thing.
And again, when you're looking at, we talk about leveraging other people's technology. What we're using for the photos, I didn't want to store all the photos on FME server, so we're using Dropbox.
Yes.
Another web service that somebody's built that scales. And again, I don't want to be responsible for very much. I just want to be responsible for moving the data around. And this demo is remarkably resilient.
Yes.
Because we got people banging on it all over. It's just a very small Amazon EC2. But because it's only moving the event data around when things happen, it's able to scale.
Yeah, I mean,
really well.
This is a case where the fact that we shaved a second off of every workspace does matter because each workspace is running for just a second or two anyway.
Yep.
So now what, Don?
Oh. Yeah, there's more.
And this is Keanu Reeves.
And this is Keanu Reeves.
Not a lemur.
That's right. Although the resemblance is remarkable, I have to say.
We didn't know who this was until we hit Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Then we decoded it.
Again, look at the hair.
Yeah.
Good hair.
Bill and Ted era.
Yep. And so now we've also written a subscriber event.
Okay.
So you're going to show that now, are you?
Yep.
Okay.
Will you make something happen?
Yep. So you're going to.
Oh.
Yep. Oh.
Look, I had a few.
Yeah. So
I will. This is one that was
okay.
Sent a few days ago.
Right. So I will go on my.
I'm going to clear that just to get rid of that.
I'll report an event.
See that again.
Okay. So you ready? Oh.
I'm ready.
I'll report an event over here because then I can actually show, and then you'll see it pop out at the top. So you ready?
Yes. Wow. This has never been done.
No. This
Dueling
is
iPhones on stage. You're the first to see this.
Okay.
I'm quite nervous.
I'm not. I'm excited.
You're going to report something?
Yeah, I'm going to report something. Okay, I better see what I'm saying here.
What are you reporting?
I'm reporting.
Winnipeg rocks?
No. No.
It does, though. You were just there.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, you ready for this?
I'm ready. I'm nervous.
I haven't finished yet.
A lot of things have to work
here.
Oh,
somebody's sending another photo in. Sent from Michael's iPhone. Don't know who you are, Michael, but thanks. Okay, you ready?
Wait a minute. I might not be subscribed. Wait, am I? I must subscribe to Apple Relay. I got to be subscribed to something else.
Apple Push.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, did you report yet?
No. You ready?
Let me say done.
Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
All right. I am ready.
Okay. Here we go.
I'm nervous. This hasn't been tried before. This has not been rehearsed. Whoa! Lots of stuff. Vancouver can't wait for XML.
That's it. So touch on that.
Okay.
And that's the one. And yeah, and you can see where we are. And there you go, Vancouver. Next stop is Vancouver. Well, I didn't bother with the second. Here. Yeah, really the first part's the only part that matters.
Right. So, wow, that worked. And we've got other fans coming as well. That's a relief. That hasn't been tried before.
Yeah. The first time in Vancouver.
You saw it unveiled. Okay. Dueling iPhones.
So hopefully this has given you some idea of what we're up to. We have one more demo, but first I want to make a couple points. Now, we could have changed things. I actually wanted a schedule, not just a subscription period. But Stuart only had 2 hours, and really the hardest part about turning that into a schedule is the GUI. The back end with the workspace is nothing at all.
So you wanted to say like every day from 2 till 4 I want to be notified.
That's right. Okay. That's right.
Yeah, that'd be easy enough.
You could also do things like change the subscriber area to follow the phone or the device the subscriber. So then as I'm moving around, I might say, hey, I'm interested in all the events, but only 2 miles from where I am. And then as we traveled around the cities, wouldn't that have been nice? You wouldn't have had to do anything. You could just follow you. Yeah. And then because it's FME in the background, the alerts could be based on something else too. It could be maybe one person isn't enough. Maybe it's multiple events. So if we take the topic that scares me half to death, and that's Lindsay Lohan. I have a daughter, she's 11, and I live in constant fear that she's going to adopt Lindsay Lohan as a role model. And so if you came last year, you probably know that. But then this is why we're really building this technology.
Yes.
But maybe Lindsay Lohan, her location isn't enough. And as we all know, she does have an ankle bracelet with a GPS. And with our system now, we could draw a nice thing saying, she's allowed to go from her house to the courthouse, from her house to jail, and from her house to her remand center, wherever it is for treatment. And anytime she goes out of that, maybe that would trigger an alarm. But maybe that's not enough. Maybe I'm only interested when Lindsay Lohan gets together with Britney Spears, because then I know,
that's a complex event.
Yeah, that's a complex event. Or maybe it's got to be Lindsay Lohan.
That needs processing, Don.
Yeah,
it needs processing.
Maybe it's Lindsay Lohan, Britney Spears, and I was going to say
Kardashian.
I was going to say Paris Hilton.
Okay.
Paris Hilton, but Kim Kardashian could join in. And then if we go back to our law enforcement example, what's better than knowing where a crime's happening, knowing where a crime is about to happen. So then you could generate an alert, and you could send it to the RCMP saying, hey, a crime is going to happen there. And then they say that they dispatch their cars, they go there with their handcuffs, just stand and wait, and it happens over there, and then they got
Actually, isn't that what Tom Cruise was doing in Minority Report, or not?
That's right. He was predicting.
I think he was able to do that.
Yeah.
And so that FME could really help Tom Cruise.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I've taken over your computer now.
I know, you just don't get much for $2. So we'll get rid of that.
Shut me down?
I'm going to shut you down. Okay. Okay. So, and again, it's the workspaces really that it's whatever you can imagine, right? It's not just, if we talk about severe weather, a lightning strike by itself is not really interesting, but a whole bunch of lightning strikes is. And
so we've done this in kind of a whimsical thing involving us reporting things ourselves and so on. Many of you will have within your organizations feeds of data that are very real and not whimsical, that being able to do this sort of thing with would greatly enhance your organization's ability to make decisions in a timely way. And so we're trying to plant the seeds for you to think about how you might adopt this and integrate it into some of your other workflows.
Yeah. So we have more.
Oh, I thought it was done, Don.
No. But wait, there's more, but I didn't do the slides.
What else is there? What else could there
possibly be? Well, some of our
be?
users have set up web-based QA systems.
Yes, okay, yeah.
And so Stuart had a great workspace. It was more than 15 transformers that did some QA, some CAD QA. And so sitting in the airport, I said, hey, why don't we make it an email-based QA system? And so half hour later, as we're sitting in the airport, what we did is we bolted that workspace to the email server. So now I have an email-based QA system. So what we're going to do is we're going to compose an email here. CAD.
Looks like you've mailed to it before.
Looks like I have, yeah. And subject we'll call, say, try this. And we'll attach a file. And now this is how I know that nobody else can ever find anything on my machine. Okay, because you got to go here. And just so nobody would find it, I put it under 2013 demos.
Oh, it's a future demo.
Yeah, it's a future demo. And we can call this one bad, so you can imagine what's going to happen. And it attaches. And then, of course, I send it in. And because this is just a topic, CAD Water QA, that I've registered a workspace against, when I click send, it goes off to the server. The server runs a workspace like it always did. Whoa, the server's busy now.
It's busy.
Yeah. And, a couple seconds later, it failed. Darn. Okay.
I bet you're surprised by that.
I'm terribly surprised. And so,
can you see a report about what went wrong?
It has errors and therefore has not been loaded into the central repository database. But what I can do is I can view, and it produced a report in HTML.
And there's no reason why it also couldn't give you back a CAD file as well that maybe flagged the errors with little pins or something. Yeah. This is just another way you can use email as an interface, which turns out to be very convenient for these kinds of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because a web page you have to be connected, right? And you might be out in the field somewhere where the connection is not always there. But email, nice thing about email is you can just, when you get a connection, it's going to go out by itself and come back.
And most everybody can handle an email interface.
That's right. That's right.
So what else are you going to do there? So
now we're going to so now, of course, we fix all this. Okay.
No, what do you do, though?
We're going to go back and we're going to resubmit it.
You are?
We are.
Do you view the map or don't you do that?
Oh, yeah. We have a map right here. Good point.
Oh, you have a map.
Yeah, so we have a map. So what we're going to demonstrate also is HTML5. Okay, this demo is going to use HTML5. So as the data is being loaded in, we're going to see it appear.
Okay, so what's going to happen is that Stuart set up a trigger on every insert. This is going into an Oracle database up in the cloud. Is that right, Stuart? So Oracle up in the cloud, and every insert is going to trigger another FME server job, which isn't very efficient, that's going to broadcast to whoever who's listening to draw that feature.
That's
right. So you're going to send a good one in?
Yeah, we're going to send the good one in. And there's a good delay here, so we'll be able to see if it's successful first. So we say send, and then we wait a minute.
So yeah, the West Coast team never was brave enough to try this.
Okay. And then we wait a minute.
A minute? A full minute?
No, a few seconds.
Basically, it's done
It just waits long enough to create some tension, so the audience is wondering if it's going to work.
Well, I am actually wondering. I'm part of the audience, I guess. For now, I'm going to say I'm part of the audience.
Yeah, well, I'm starting to feel like part of the audience now, too. Okay.
Well, what's happening there, Don?
Well, let's go look at our server and see what's going on here.
It's because it's doing the QA first, and then once it's done the QA, then it has to load into Oracle, so it will come.
You're confident, Stuart?
It's never failed us yet, has it, Stuart?
Quietly confident.
Yeah, never ever failed.
The West Coast guys were too scared. If you attended any of those other things I did, I never did this one.
The key thing is, though, there's no code on the back end.
There we go.
Okay.
Yep. And it depends what's going on in the back end, too.
Oh, and does it give you a report as well? It probably says all's well?
Yeah. We'll assume that.
Yeah.
So now what's happening? In addition...
Yep. And so now if I go over here, it's loading into the Oracle database. Now remember, this website is not asking the server. It's not doing a got data. It's using HTML5 and WebSockets. How many lines of code, Stuart?
We cheated. We had to write 12 lines.
Stuart, well, he says it's the royal we.
Look at that.
So now we can start to see the data coming in down there as it's being loaded in. And it doesn't matter how many thousands of people are looking at this. Again, what are we doing? We're leveraging other people's technology. So Pusher.com is a company that their whole thing in life is distributing data via HTML5, and so we just plug into them. FME server's just doing what it always does, just move data.
So the other thing that's interesting is that this is event-driven because a trigger is a form of event. And so you can have triggers in databases, poke FME server to do something. In this case, there's a trigger on every insert, which is a bit over the top, but and that's causing FME server to pull that thing out and then send it to Pusher, and then any web pages that are listening to Pusher are getting the answers. So they'll slowly dribble in here.
I think if we had to do this using a web technology on the back end, like Ruby on Rails or PHP, and get this demo working, we'd have to write at least a couple of thousand lines of code.
Right. And you wrote 12 lines?
Yeah, I wrote 12. So.
Okay.
And these workspaces are all trivial. To change his workspace to be mail-based, we added about 6 transformers.
Yes.
So there you go.
It says that there's street hockey starting now, Don.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Outside. So if you have any questions or you want to try any of this stuff, reach out to Dale, reach out to myself, reach out to any of the folks at SAFE. We're happy to give you evaluation licenses of FME server so you can play with it, learn it.
And we can let you, if you don't have a place to install it, we can let you play with an Amazon instance. Craig can set you up either as part of our one that's there or even one of your own. Because we do know that some of you, set up a server in your own companies can be a little bit of a tricky thing for experimentation. But we think it's an extremely interesting new frontier for interacting with the power of transformation through events. In addition to all the other stuff that we always have done. So none of the stuff we've just shown diminishes in any way the traditional way that our fathers used FME. But in addition to all that, you can combine it in this new way and maybe add even more value to the things you're doing.
Because at the end of the day, what we're doing is we're finding new ways to leverage the engine. And it's really all about the engine. That's what people at SAFE work on. We have people who are doing the authoring, but they're authoring for the engine. We have people working on server. What are they doing? They're working on finding new ways to get data into the engine. And so everything you know about the engine can now be done with these real-time data flows. And it's pretty...
Right, so
pretty
emails...
It's not as exciting as XML. I just want to get that out there.
Right, but next to that...
It is, yeah.
It's the next most exciting thing. So anyway, Craig, have you been cooking up our lunch for us?